1 second, please.
2022 meeting to
Just
order.
1 moment, please.
Things are popping up here. Okay.
Okay, and we are live on YouTube. Thank you. Please go ahead.
We'll begin with attendance. Suzanne will proceed with that.
Right. Alan Scott. Elise Lipnick is excused. Annie Bate.
Here.
Bonnie McGregor.
Here.
David Haber. Not yet. John Hughes.
Here.
Julie Lutke.
Here.
Linda Schellenberg.
Here.
Margaret Manukian. Plans to be here, I think. Ron Rubel.
I'm here.
Scott Harper.
Here.
Stephen Austin. Okay, that's everybody.
Okay, we've got introductions on the agenda. I guess we can go through that one more time. We're just if everybody has got their agenda list in front of them, we'll just go through alphabetically, and you can briefly reintroduce yourselves. We'll start with, looks like Annie. If you'll start, introduce yourself briefly.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I just printed my agenda. I'm sorry for being late with that. I'm Annie Bate. I used to work for this. Well, I'm a retired city employee with neighborhood services and neighborhood associations. I also volunteer in the community and just got back from the Habitat for Humanity breakfast. So it's just a pleasure to be able to serve the city in this way.
Okay.
With such wonderful people.
Next is Bonnie. Thank you, Annie.
Good morning. I'm Bonnie McGregor. I've been volunteering at the 50 Plus for about 4 years. I've gotten very involved and I do enjoy it a lot. That's about it.
Okay, thank you, Bonnie. And we don't have
John Hughes.
John Hughes, yes.
I'm John Hughes. I'm the owner and administrator at Comfort Care Home Care. We take care of seniors and other individuals that need help in their homes.
Thank you, John. And Julie?
Good morning, I'm Julie Ludke. I am the ADRC Program Manager with Northwest Senior and Disability Services.
Thank you, Julie. And Linda?
I'm Linda Schellenberg. I am on the board of directors with Friendly Callers. And I've been involved with the center, I think, for about 6 or 7 years now. And I really enjoy it. So
Thank you, Linda.
mm-hmm.
And I'm Ron Rubel. I'm your chair of the commission. And I also participate with Friends, and also am on the board of the Salem Art Association and the SCAN Neighborhood Association. And we'll proceed then with Scott.
Scott Harper. I'm the director of Meals on Wheels with Marion Polk Food Share.
Okay. It looks like Alan has joined us. We'll back up to Alan. If you'll introduce yourself, Alan.
Can you hear me okay? Are you able? Oh, you're okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Alan Scott. I don't know what kind of a introduction we're doing here, but I'm a commissioner, a new commissioner in this last year. Anything else you're looking for?
Yep, that's good.
That's it.
We were getting a bit of
Margaret
feedback
Manoogian.
on that. Yeah. Okay.
You want me to talk, Margaret?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm Margaret Manoogian. I'm a professor of gerontology at Western Oregon University. And my camera on this loaner from the university is not working. So you will see me, my name, but not my face.
Okay, thank you, Margaret.
Maria, do you mind turning off our chat, please?
No problem.
Thank you.
Okay. Are there any announcements to be made? No. Oh, we have a visitor from the city of Salem, and that would be Bria. Bria, would you mind introducing yourself, please?
Oh, my pleasure. I'm just the person behind the curtain back here at the City of Salem's IT department to make sure things run technically smoothly with the meeting and the YouTube live streaming. So pleasure to meet all of you. I'm really impressed by all the work you do for our community. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Bria. Okay, are there any additions or deletions to the agenda as published? Can I have a motion, please, to proceed with the agenda as published?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Linda. And a second, please.
Second.
I'll second. Yeah.
Thank you, John. All in favor? Raise
Aye.
your hand. Yeah, appears everybody's in favor. There are no objections or abstentions. Abstentions. Okay, there we go. Okay. Everybody should have received a copy of the minutes for the last meeting, which was the July 2022 meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes as published? Again, a motion, please, to accept the minutes of the July 2022 meeting. Now, come on, somebody can make
Okay,
that
I
motion.
move we accept the minutes of the
Okay,
July
thank-
22.
Yeah, that was Julie who did that? Yes.
No, Bonnie.
Oh,
I'll second
Bonnie.
it.
Okay, and a second. Did everybody have a cup of coffee this morning?
Not yet, no. I'm trying.
Julie seconded. I don't think
Okay,
you heard
Julie,
that, Ron.
second. Thank you. All in favor, raise your hand, please. And any objections? Abstentions? Passed unanimously. Okay. Up to this point, at this point, we're up to public comment, and we don't have anybody from the public at large. So we'll move on to discussion items and information reports, starting with Director Blair, please.
Yes, thank you very much. Let me share my screen. So I have asked Heidi Miller to be with us today. So she's going to be speaking a little bit more extensively about the outreach programs that she is involved in. So I'm going to just go through my other rest of my report quickly, but feel free to ask questions, just unmute as we make our way through. So we have some exciting things coming up in the month of November. I'm kind of thinking further out because I'm in desperate need of volunteers. So if you hear of something that I'm talking about and you want to help, email me directly at mdaly@cityofsalem.net. So coming up, first week in November is on 11/5. We have a clam chowder feed from 11:30 to 2:30. It includes a chowder or chicken noodle soup, bread, salad, and dessert. It's $8 for adults, $4 for children. And this is a fundraiser to support our outreach efforts and some of our community focused projects. I do need volunteers for that. So if that sounds like a fun day for you, please let me know. I'm excited because I'm not fixing the clam chowder. Chef Dave has agreed to do that for us. So we're going to have clam chowder made by an actual professional. Next, we have Veterans Day Luncheon. That is actually on Veterans Day, which is Friday, November 11th. Thankfully, Dignity Funeral Services and Bellcrest Memorial Park have sponsored our luncheon. And so we can feed our veterans for free. We're going to have a ham or chicken dinner with some sides to go with it. If you're not a veteran, we're just asking people for a $5 donation, and RSVP is required and volunteers are needed. So if that sounds like something fun, please let me know because we could really use your help on that event day. We're having special music and we'll have some giveaways and of course, Willamette Vital Health will be here and they're going to assist us with the flag pins for our veterans. And so we're going to do, instead of a normal program where we have a speaker, we're actually going to be out in the audience asking our veterans to share their branch and service with the group. So it'll be kind of neat. On 12/3, we have another fundraiser called Tea Among the Trees, and this is a ladies' tea party. This is going to be a great event. We've done one similar to this in the past, and it was very successful. This is musical entertainment, fashion show, and then very, very small tree and wreath auction, and advance reservations and ticket purchase is important, will be required. Those tickets will go on sale shortly on the Friends of Center 50 Plus website. And then another opportunity for you to volunteer. We have a holiday open house. It's going to be on Thursday afternoon from 1 to 4. Now, normally we have bingo, so bingo will be going on. So our bingo folks can continue to do that. But in the other rooms of the building, whether it's lobby or one of our other classrooms, we're going to have games and cards going on, crafts, movie, and even a sing-along, some caroling. We normally do this. We try to do it very close to Christmas Eve. To give people a place to go for Christmas Eve, but just the way the week falls this time, we've decided to try something new and do it a couple of days before, and we hope that you will join us. Any questions about some of these special events coming up? Again, if something sounds like super fun and you want to volunteer, you can email me, or when you come by the center, let me know. And I'm sorry, I can't see who's talking.
This is Bonnie, and there's going to be flyers that we can have and work on and all that kind of good stuff.
That's right. And it's also in the Northwest 50 Plus magazine as well for the Veterans Day and the clam chowder feed.
Okay.
So that's a good one. It's actually in my director's comments of this month's featured articles. And so feel free to grab some extra Boomer Newses and give them out to people because there's so much more in there than just our special events.
Will do.
All right, well, let's move on. We had a technology focus group planned, and it just, with everything going on of the opening, I think it just fell flat and we only had one person show up. So we're going to try this again. I will be sending you, by the end of today, there will be a flyer that you can share to your email friends and family. This is also going to be on Facebook, and it has been noted in this month's Boomer News. It has an article about it. But we're having a technology focus group on October 12th from 9 to 11. I decided that whole day experience just doesn't work for people popping in. You have to be very concrete. We're going to try this. So October 12th from 9 to 11, right here at Center 50 Plus. The question is, do you find our technology and communication tools to be age-friendly? We have a paper survey that we created. We received about 40 surveys back. Now we're really asking people to come here in person and experience the registration and the Sign Up Genius and our website in person live with us so that we can take notes and get their feedback live. So when you come in, bring your smartphone or your tablet or your laptop and come on into the center. And of course, we'll have 4 of those available for people here, and bring those in. And we're going to walk you through. Okay, now everybody get on the website, and I'm going to have people pull it up on their phone. We're going to see how they navigate it and how it works for them. Then we'll move to signing them up to participate in the fitness center, the reservation system. We'll have everybody do that process. We'll see, how does it work on your phone? How is it working on your tablet? And then identify the gaps right then and there. So hopefully this live experience will give us some feedback. Again, please, RSVP is helpful so that I know some people are coming, but primarily this is for you, the RSVP. If you are able to come from 9 to 11 on October 12th and just be an extra person to help people with their devices, I could really use that help. If you're not techie yourself and you think this would be a good experience for you, please come. But definitely we can use your help in that area. I'm going to skip over Heidi for now, and I'm going to go down here to our lifelong learning. So you're seeing the report for lifelong learning from the summer, since we did not meet officially in August or September. We did some modifications. And so here is just kind of a recap of our summer events and how we went this summer. The classes that we tried and were running during the summertime are listed in your report. And again, I'm going to put this into an email to you, and you can have it in front of you and for your records. But we had some of our very long time volunteer or contracted seniors that were willing to teach during the summer months. And ukulele in particular was very successful, as well as our line dancing, our wood carving. We started some new things, the basic embroidery. And then you know what? Our diehard group for the last 2.5 years has been the writers group. Nothing could slow them down. They continued to meet even during those challenging times. So we definitely wanted to note some of the strengths of our teachers and our committed groups. We have a new program in the lifelong learning, and it's called the freshman cohort class. Now we had our first freshman cohort class conclude on the 16th of June. Now that group, you guessed it, are now sophomores. So that group has come back, and they are now the sophomore cohort, and pretty exciting because that sophomore group, they spent the freshman year learning who am I and what's important to me and what domains or 7 dimensions of wellness am I participating in actively, and what ways can I improve? So that was kind of an exploration year, in addition to funds, field trips and that kind of thing. Well, now they're moving into sophomore year, and they're getting a little bit deeper. This year, they're going to be visiting city, county, state government. They're going to understand their local government and ways that they can impact change. They're also going to look at those elements and see those different organizations and see how they work with nonprofits. So they're going to get to tour and get to know some local nonprofits. And at the very end, they're going to be studying over at Western Oregon with Dr. Mark Henkels. They're going to have a class with him on advocacy. How can an individual really impact the world in which they live? So a basic state and local government class, but also some advocacy discussions. So we're excited to be able to do that with our sophomores. Well, Our freshman class came forward, and now we are starting our new freshman group. And the new freshman group is full at 25 students.
Oh, no.
And they are going to start this exploration of the seven dimensions of wellness and repeat some of those things with some neat field trips and some growth. Just a kind of reminder that as we progress and they move to their sophomore year, they'll do state and local government. As people approach their junior year, it's all about brain health, honestly. It's about mind, body, spirit, in terms of how do all those things work together for the betterment of our brains. And they're going to explore that with a boot camp for the brain at the end. And then their senior year, they're going to be studying a variety of topics, but the ultimate goal is to do their senior trip in Washington, D.C. So we're copying kind of the things that we did when we were in high school. But now, we don't need as many chaperones when we go on our trip. So there you go. So we're pretty excited about our cohort group and the lifelong learning. We in general are just getting busier and busier. We've had a few days where we actually had some pressure in our parking lot. I used to always say, boy, I wish I didn't have to have complaints about the parking lot. But coming out of COVID and just rebuilding our programming, I have to tell you, I actually love a complaint that the parking lot is too full. That's what I'm working towards right now, is getting people really engaged. And we are seeing our numbers are starting to go up. We actually have had some days that were as high as 400. So we're starting to build and we're starting to move back towards that 800 person, which was our regular amount, 800 people a day. So we're running at about 50% capacity in terms of our programs and our people. We know that that's not where we want to stay. We're just slowly continuing to build and grow. As you roll things back out, you discover things that are out of shape. You roll out a class and you realize that the registration process failed this time, or you roll out an exercise group and you discover that 3/4 of that exercise club or group is no longer able to do that type of exercise. So, each time you're just adjusting and making changes and responding as you need to. Respite, I'm excited to announce, respite is just going amazing. In terms of the folks that are coming in, we're just seeing younger diagnosis, younger seniors coming into the program. I recently received the federal adult daycare annual report, and in there we are very comparable. The age of our group is sitting in that younger mid-60s age group, where I can remember a time that people came to respite in their mid-80s. So we're seeing folks coming in at a younger age, but their ability to fully engage in the program is up. So the benefit of being in that social model, we're seeing some really excellent results because when they come in, we're getting them with a younger, earlier diagnosis, and they're reaching out for resources earlier. So it gives us a little more time to assist that person, not only with enjoying the social activities that we provide, but providing that family resources earlier and in more of a proactive approach. So we're seeing that. We are so busy that we actually have added Fridays back in beginning this month. This will be our first Friday from 11 to 4. So we're now back up to 4 days a week. And we're thankful that we're able to do that and that we are able to serve so many families. The Health and Fitness Center, we do we are finishing the paperwork for 2 new hires to help in our yoga and our Tai Chi classes. So we are going to be able to expand days and times and bring back yoga. We lost our yoga instructor this summer she moved to be closer to family. And, it's very challenging to find specialized teachers like in yoga and Tai Chi. In particular, it's an unusual position because it's really only about 4 hours a week. And so there's not that, that's a challenge. How do you find someone that just wants to do it? And they're always in the daytime to serve our folks. And so that even adds more challenges. But we did find 2 amazing candidates that are not new to the center, but have been grown and trained and now feel comfortable stepping forward and being in these positions. When you think about the Center 50 Plus gym, we're not the only show in town. We have the Kroc Center. We have this newly rebuilt and opening of the YMCA. And then we have a beautiful system with the Courthouse Athletic Club as well as Physique Fitness. I mean, there's really a lot of fitness gym options, but there really isn't any that are as targeted and as focused on the special needs of the people we serve. We are the place for people to come if they need to improve balance and mobility. If they are in particularly are rehabbing after joint replacements or cardiac surgeries, we are the perfect next step to getting back into fitness because we are a small gym. It's always staffed with knowledgeable people. And that we are trained to answer those questions that are in particular about the aging body. And we are there as their cheerleader. When you go to a very large gym, it is a little more challenging to get help explaining how to use the treadmill or some of our bikes. And we do have clients and patrons here at the center that need assistance with getting the equipment set up for them every visit. And that's what a small gym can provide. It provides them that one-on-one and the attention they need so they don't get lost in the numbers. We keep our membership between 300 and 450. So you may have anywhere from 1 to 10 people in the gym at a time. So there's a lot of space. It kind of reminds me more of a Curves, if you're familiar with that format. But that is really how the fitness center is operating. Any questions about those 2 categories, or both respite or health and wellness center?
Just a question about the respite. Do you have any kind of specialized updates for that? Because my staff would be very interested in sharing that broadly. Is this the only notice we're going to get? Because I can get this and send it, or I can.
No, you know what?
there's
That
other
will
notices.
be, we have updated our brochures that would be good for any case managers.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll get you a stack of those or send it to you electronically. And then we have some growth potential, but we're trying to avoid a waiting list. Those never make sense.
Right. So your capacity is 25, or what's your final capacity?
Our capacity, well, it's not set in stone because it depends on how many days a week they decide to come. So if we have, we can go 15 a day with our Among Friends, which is more supervision. And then on our Time with Friends, our early stage, we can go 25.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say that we have capacity for between 5 and 10 more single day participants.
Okay. Yeah. Electronic would be great.
Yep.
Then we could store it and share it broadly with folks.
Thank you. We will do that.
Thank you.
Last on my report, don't forget, October 17th is the City of Salem's Volunteer Recognition. One of our volunteers. Mary Quinn has been chosen for one of the awards. And so it'd be nice if there was representation from our organization there. It's going to be a special evening because we're going to do a special recognition of Mayor Chuck Bennett as he retires and moves forward. And he has been instrumental in much of the work that we've done the last few years here at Center 50 Plus. And this is our opportunity to thank you as commissioners for your dedication and your commitment to Center 50 Plus and to the city of Salem to make this community the best place it can be. And please, so 5 to 7:30, arrive. The doors open at 5. The program is going to start at 6. And I'm pretty excited because the refreshments are charcuterie cups. So they stole our cute idea from the Boot Scoot. So if you want to have a charcuterie cup and a wonderful program, please join us 5 o'clock at the library on Monday, October 17th. Any questions of me before I turn it over to Heidi Miller? Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Heidi Miller. Heidi, do you have something to share on your screen, or do you just want me to leave your report up?
Go ahead and leave the report up just for a second, and then we can let it go.
Sounds good.
All right, sounds good. Hello, everyone. For this month, we just decided to give you a spotlight of the Friendship Brigade. That's our visiting volunteers. So this is our program that prior to COVID was designed to recruit, train, and connect caring volunteers with isolated seniors living in community care and nursing environments. And when COVID hit, we had about 124 active volunteers visiting 12 facilities. And as you know, as soon as the pandemic, materialized, all that kind of got shut down. So we moved into letter writing and to window parades and doing all sorts of things, trying to stay connected with our resident friends. And so we're happy to say that we were able to start visiting some of our facility partners again. However, it's been a kind of a bumpy road because we've had issues with COVID cropping in and out, and so visits have been somewhat inconsistent. But at the same time, we still have managed to have 72 facility visits since January, which I'm very excited about. And having said that, I will tell you, we are critically low on visiting volunteers. So I have 37 volunteers who are interested in visiting and want to get back engaged, but they've been kind of slow in getting back into the rhythm of things with family visits over the summer and travel plans and everything else. So if you know someone who's interested in becoming a visiting volunteer and joining that team, engaging residents who for so long have been really experiencing the true pain of being isolated and alone in those facilities with very few visits, we sure would appreciate it. Canine Corps is a part of the Friendship Brigade. It's an adjunct to it, and happily we're up to 12 dog teams that are able to visit in the facilities as well as shut-ins at home. And really the rock stars, I suppose, of the pandemic are this small group of card makers who have been keeping us in the facilities, sharing good things to think about and do and feel. So that's been awesome. Look at that, already 3,150 cards distributed, and we haven't even hit the big boom of the holiday season. So that's exciting.
Now, Heidi, did you, Dr. Manoogian, Margaret has her hand up.
Heidi, I just wanted to tell you that I met with a student yesterday who would like to do a practicum over there with the Friendship Brigade and possibly some other things.
Oh, lovely. Yeah,
I'll be referring her to you and to Dale. So,
perfect.
okay, great.
All right, great. Yeah, yeah. We have a student from Western Oregon. Maybe it could be the same one.
It might be.
Alex.
Yes, it is Alex.
Wonderful. Yeah, she's great.
It would mean more hours over with you guys.
We love that too. We love that too.
Yeah.
Anyway, good, good. All right. So in addition to our that little spotlight on the Friendship Brigade and the activities that we've been up to, I want to let you know that we have started a weekly noontime walk out of the center here every Monday. So please feel free to come and join us and to walk the Highland neighborhood. I really kind of see this as belonging to our Villages Network. And so I've added our monthly meeting and our online social and a link to Sign Up Genius so you can participate in that. And I'll come back to Villages in a moment. And then also I've provided you the dates for our upcoming autumn service days. So we have one here it's really north central Salem and Kaiser. And those service days have been really something. We've served over 56 senior households who had small, needs, whether it was yard work or it was changing some fixtures, making trips to the Goodwill for people, helping declutter. We've met some beautiful people who have made the choice to stay at home and to and enjoy their living at home independently for as long as possible, who just needed a little support. And it really brings us back to how important our village efforts are. And then finally, I want to just let you know that we have this month our Halloween costume crawl and window parades. That's an opportunity for you to grab your the kids in your life or just come and wear your own costume and come and join us. We'll be visiting as many as 12 facilities over the 26th, 27th, and 28th, just bringing the pageantry and fun of the holiday with us. And I'm working on my schedule, so locations and times are yet to be declared, but we'll let you know. And then just a quick reminder that we also have our holiday visits and caroling in December, and those dates are provided as well. So Marilyn, you can go ahead and let that go. Anyway, what I wanted to really come back to was just how important our work with the Villages Network has been over the summer. Like I said, we introduced the idea of neighbors helping neighbors and connecting with seniors who just needed a little support, who they're independent, living independently, but they need a little support from their community. We want to get them connected to the center and to each other so that they can then get engaged and be able to pursue their goals, whether it's in the seven, really inhabiting the 7 dimensions of wellness, or becoming a lifelong learner through the center, or just really enjoying their neighborhood and being a part of their neighborhood and visible in their own community. So when we do the service days, or when we have walks and pop-ups in the park, and when we have opportunities to do fun things like those parades, they are all meaningful. They all create visibility and create opportunity for connection and for engagement and growth. And so I really want to invite you all to think about your own neighborhood and your own connections that exist in where you live, and to invite you to join the Villages Network and become advocates and ambassadors to the network in your community. So, and you can do that in all sorts of ways. You can host a little gathering with some of your neighbors. It can be pretty informal, but then just provide them with the new knowledge that the Village Network exists, and we're here to deliver the best of Center 50 Plus programming, but also opportunities for one-on-one support during life transitions, as well as just being a bridge to other resources, whether that's within the senior network or it's volunteer opportunities or other growth opportunities. So, Marilyn, did you have anything that you want to say to that?
Well, I would just ask if you have any questions among the group. Sometimes when we sit on these commissions, we, it's how do we really advocate for not just what we do at Center 50 Plus, but advocate for older adults to remain in their homes as independently as possible. Our advocacy is through the Village Network, really. That is our community focused. It's our community focused activities. And as we talk about being advocates for our older adults in our community, the best way to do that is to build relationships with the seniors in which we're trying to advocate for. And it's difficult to advocate from a single point of office, my office, or from your home, that we really have to get outside of those walls and get to know people. It requires us to really see people so that we can understand how we can best help them. And I know that the mistakes and the errors that we make is trying to make all decisions through the eyes of our own experience. And to understand other people's experiences means that we must know them and get to know them, and we need to ask those questions. And so these are the fun, non-awkward opportunities to connect with people and get to know them. I can do many focus groups and invite people into more and more meetings, but that really never gives us the information of their true experience in their home, in their neighborhoods. And so as you walk about your day, whether it's at your church or your neighborhood walk or even the grocery store, I hope that we can all just open our eyes and our spirit to getting to know people around us, so that when we come back and talk about bigger picture things for the community, we have some true anecdotal information to share, people's stories. And that's what we get from these village connections. So I love that we have so many fun things planned. Not only is it fun for them, the Halloween parades are so fun. The things we have planned for the holiday season, you will feel, I left the parades last year for the holiday parades completely excited and energized about the human spirit and the community love. And so I gained just as much as they did. So thank you, Heidi. Any questions for Heidi and the work she's doing?
I don't have a question. This is Margaret again, but I have an idea. And so Heidi, I'll touch base with you because we have a community hall in Pringle Creek. And I've been talking age-friendly and aging in place till I'm blue in the face. But I think that that community hall, I can reserve it for free. The capacity is around 90 and has a kitchen. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah.
And so I've been thinking about offering like a little workshop and then possibly having you come and talk about the village concepts with the group. And that would be for the Morningside neighborhood area, probably. I'm not sure how that would work, so I'll talk to you more about it. But I think having that facility can really help. And we just are completing our AARP grant, which is basically cement or concrete, I've been told, to between the greenhouses. So if the weather were nice too, we could we could have our urban gardener there talking about some stuff too, as another program for aging in place. So
That's fantastic. I
Yeah.
love it. And that's the sort of, Margaret, absolutely, I want to connect with you. And that's a great example. Of course, Margaret lives in an intentional community. And so it might be easier in one regard for her to say, well, we have a community hall and we have, people to bring in. But I can tell you that even in my own neighborhood, I have my neighbors to the left, to the right, and a little far flung. And my husband has become quite in semi-retirement, I swear at the number of neighbors that we've met along the way has grown exponentially. So you have your own community, and the invitation and really the request that I'm asking you all to do is to think about how you can introduce the Villages Network as a concept, yes, but also as an opportunity in your own neighborhood.
Well, and I think one of the things we're kind of working through is sometimes how does the Villages Network and the peer-to-peer support differ than neighborhood associations, but how do those work? How do they work together? And what does that look like? Because when we talk to people about geographic supports, people supporting one another in their geographic, we do get, well, I am a member of the neighborhood association, and we love that. But we want to demonstrate how one layer down is application of neighborly support and senior peer support. And so we want to, any way we can discuss that with neighborhood associations is a great tool, and we're working on that. We're building relationships. The other is when we don't have a community hall like Pringle Hall, we pop up with pop-up tents. And let me tell you, it's way nicer to go to a community hall. So and way less work than us schlepping tents and tables and chairs. So if you live in a neighborhood or a community that has a gathering space, please let us know, because that's how we're spreading it. Any other comments or feedback or questions of Heidi? Loneliness still continues and exists. We have not resolved the concern of loneliness and isolation. As COVID passes and we're feeling these changes and these different things happening, or changes in the world of COVID, that is not the starting factor of loneliness. It predates that. So it still exists. So we want to still combat that. Thank you, Heidi.
Thank you.
And that's the end of our report.
Well, thank you, Marilyn. We'll move on at this point to Linda, who can give us an update on what's happening with Friends in the recent past here.
Okay, thanks, Karen. Have a good day. Okay, bye-bye.
Linda, you're still muted.
I think I can. Bria, are we able to unmute Linda?
No, that's her own setting, but I am. Linda, within your Zoom meeting display window toward the bottom, there should be a microphone. You should be able to click on that in order to remove the mute for your device.
Julie, while Linda's working on that, do you have your hand raised?
Heather, I'm just aware that I need to leave in about 3 minutes. So I just wanted to, as we're discussing taking on other people's purview, their worldviews, I just wanted to reflect a little bit on the folks I visited with last month at the grand opening, and just wanted to put this conversation that I had into the future, I guess, for future items. One is that one of the patrons I talked with, her husband was just turning 50, but she had been 50 for some time. And so they were excited to come together. They had multiple questions about bus routes and ways to access the center. And so I did my best to support them with that. But I just thought that was, just so you know, sometimes getting to the center is difficult. And so, and how that works, because her husband was alter able, using a wheelchair primarily for navigating his world. The other thing was, there was a lovely new, lovely mother-daughter, and the mother can only come because on days her daughter doesn't work, when the daughter can translate for her. And it was a real live thing that, the mother was really interested in, I spoke my limited situational Spanish with them as best I could to engage, but really they, like, the mother was interested in like dance classes and Tai Chi and all those things, but just a future conversation. It's a real conversation of being able to engage in things and to be able to have her independence to come without her daughter. And so what would that look like?
Very good.
Yeah, I do have to leave. I apologize.
All
I
right.
have another meeting coming, but
thank you for
so.
sharing that, because that's great. That's a part of our next kind of dialogue.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. How are we doing? Is Linda ready?
No, still muted.
Okay. Well, Linda, would you like, head nod, would you like me to speak to the boot scoot? Well, we had our boot scoots. Thank you to everybody that came to it and supported it and volunteered. We had over 500 people there, 520 some people came. So we would consider that a successful event. We know that we made over $5,000. So between $500 and $7,500 when it was all said and done. Part of that, oh, there we are. There's Linda. She's off.
Oh. You're up, Linda. If you.
Well, we would consider it a successful event for our very first one after being closed and not having in-person events in quite a while. So we were pleased with the turnout. We were pleased with the majority of the things and how it flowed. Definitely learned, but we did overcome major windstorms and fires. So to still have a good event in light of those things, we were pretty pleased with that. And so we will do it again. And we already have the confirmation of 3 additional sponsors for next year's event, just because they were there and they loved it so much. So we'll have already 7 sponsors as we launch into our next planning phase. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Marilyn. At this point, we have some extra time. If anybody has any updates about what their organization has been doing that you'd like to share with us, we'd be happy to hear from you. No updates.
So I was just going to share, I did go to an Arbinger diversity and equity training, and I would like to go through the video series with the commission, have a standard meeting, and then about 15-20 minutes of discussion at the conclusion of each meeting where we're not on YouTube, that this is kind of our own internal training process. So we'd have our public meeting followed by a rollout of diversity and equity training. I have a short intro video that's about, I think about 2 minutes that I'd like to share today as a way of introducing the future meetings. How do we feel about that?
Okay. Any discussion?
Marilyn, how will we make that available for those who had to leave early or weren't here today?
I will, I'm going to have to figure out how to do video clip sending, but I will work on that.
Okay. Or link or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
I thought I would just show this short little introduction so you can get the sense of how this casual dialogue would occur. It's a part of our bigger picture. I know that I was assigned to kind of find some DEI training, and the city of Salem provided me a photo, no, what do you call them? A deck, info deck that is just basically a PowerPoint presentation. And I'm happy to do that at the conclusion of these videos. But I think that for our purpose, I prefer this other training as opposed to the PowerPoint slide. But I want you just to get a sense of how they speak to us and how the group is made up. And then we can talk about it at the conclusion. Are we okay with that?
I think we all are, yes.
Okay. Let's see.
And when are you hoping to begin that?
Well, I'm going to show you the video now,
Ah,
the short video. This one is called the first section is called Belonging. Do you all see that?
yeah.
Okay.
Welcome to Outward Inclusion. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Tito. And throughout this course, we're both going to present ideas for you to consider and tools to use. And we are so excited to help guide you on this journey.
And here's the thing, this course is a journey. And we're going to try to discover together those things that get in the way of our connection to each other as people.
And for that to happen, it's going to require that each of us examine our own story.
And the truth is, we all have a story.
I got to a place where I just wanted to be seen as a human being and not the things that I was wearing or my gender or my skin color.
Like many people, I was probably sleepwalking. But now I saw for the first time that there are people who are living in my community who are afraid of where the disparity is, what the discrimination is, and what impact this has not just on the individuals, but all of us who are members of that community.
Being a women scientist was not easy, and there were many obstacles we need to navigate, bypass, and also suffer with.
Throughout this course, you are going to be introduced to people from around the world. And these are real people. They're not actors, and they are going to share their stories with us.
And you'll also be introduced to groups of people who will wrestle with and explore the ideas you'll encounter through the lens of their own life experiences. And this will help prepare you to think about what these ideas mean for you and how to apply them to create greater inclusion and belonging.
I remember being like this 7-year-old kid running into my grandma's house. She had this amazing capacity to slow down and invest in me.
In the summertime, in the middle of the night, we'd play baseball and just till the sun went down, and even in the dark, we'd just play. There's one cop in particular that I really enjoyed going into the diamond. We'd just be frozen, and he'd climb the pole, and and he'd turn the light on. And he'd give us the old, shh, don't say nothing. And he'd take off, and we're just like dumbfounded, like, that was so cool.
When have you felt real belonging? When have you felt that you matter, that you are welcomed and needed?
Every day, I pick up the phone to call my mom because I feel seen and heard, and there's no judgment there. They definitely know that I have my flaws, but they love the flaws.
My senior year, I had a teacher named Mrs. Checketts. She was my AP psychology teacher. She was the first person that I felt seen by. She didn't tiptoe around me being transgender or act like it was some thing that we just couldn't talk about. And she gave me an opportunity to be seen for the first time.
We'd like you to think of a time when you felt real belonging. Why did you feel belonging then? And what did that experience invite in you?
So that's kind of the flavor of how this series works. They introduce a topic, and then we have a breakout session, or we can talk about it as a major group. You know, the first one that they just said is, when was a time that you felt true belonging? There was no question that you belonged. I think that we all have those moments where we were, I don't know, okay, 100%, where we felt acceptance and belonging. That would be our first assignment in terms of what they're really saying. And I liked this program because it's not about us just talking about those people. It's about identifying first our own self, truly understanding our own self and our own, because it's not an outward problem. It's not us just saying we are going to fix these outward issues that we have in our community. It all begins with ourselves. So I guess that first assignment is really thinking about where was a time where you felt the most belonging. And it doesn't have to be shared with the group in this kind of forum. We're on YouTube, but those are the kind of small breakout sessions that help us then break it down to why do groups within our community not have a sense of belonging? But for us to understand what it means to belong, we have to first identify what it felt like to us. So thank you.
Okay, anybody else have any updates or comments that they would like to share with us? Okay, then I think it would be appropriate at this time to adjourn the meeting. Can I have a motion for somebody who had a cup of coffee this morning, please? Oh, come on. A motion for adjournment, please. Someone.
I move we adjourn.
Thank you, Alan. And a second?
I second.
Penny. Okay. And all in favor, raise your hand. And the next meeting will be the first day of November, November 1st.
Ooh.
I'll see you all then.